Well, in the first place, before the idea should have been brought to Congress for legislation, and before Congress passed that into law, complete stop work and due diligence should have been done. However, this action by the president is very much welcome. It means they recognize that more work has to be done to make sure that the Maharlika Investment Fund, once launched, will make sense in addressing some of our issues on investment, issues on infrastructure, and the funding other economic and social services. But I think there's a lot of uncertainty when we hear the word complete study or further study. How long is it going to be? If it's going to take probably months or a few months, then what we said, I think it's important that the capital contribution of both the Lanbank and the Development Bank of the Philippines should be returned to them. Why? Because at this point, when they remitted their capital contribution of 25 billion for DBP and 50 billion for Lanbank, their capital base was reduced by so much. And at the same time, their capital adequacy ratio will also be affected in the process. So that would constrain them from either accelerating their lending or at least sustaining the pace of lending that they've been used to do in the past period. Yeah. So I think it's important that that is considered by those in authority. I have two objections here. One is on the impact on fiscal sustainability, because the Land Bank, and I'm sure DBP will also ask for an exemption from RA 7656 in terms of remitting their dividends. That means the national government will have less revenues up to the amount of the annual dividends given by both GFIs to the national government. So I raised the issue of fiscal sustainability precisely because the government will be constrained. It will be forced to seek some other ways to fund the difference. Either it imposes higher taxes or increase its borrowing to be able to compensate for the lost dividends coming from the two GFIs and also from the BSP itself. Number two is financial stability. To the extent that the two GFIs will be affected and the kind of confidence impact on the market this would have, I think the issue on financial stability should also be considered by those in authority.